name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Even Joe. Sorry.
Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host of the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can. And oh yeah, your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the Yard of Streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And you can't forget about the best of the West. You can't forget about Sarah Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
That was
Hello. Hello.
Gunther's right there with us. The
Yep.
ring general, the yard general. He's the yard general.
The king general.
Yeah, but we're in the yard.
I guess.
My yard.
All right, Roman.
That's there. Circle gets the square. What's poppin'? How we doing on this fine ass Thursday?
Fantastic. It's been a
There
good
we go.
week. Sort
It's
of.
been a very good week for you. I'm very happy for you. Round of applause.
Thank you.
You've
Thank
been
you.
crushing it. Interviewing Vince Wilfork, getting praised by your peeps and other peeps in the world, getting that recognition. It's really nice. It's nice to see that, Sarah. Good shit.
Thanks. Thanks.
It's nice to also be back here in the Yard of Streams and seeing our peeps. We got one on Twitter. How are you doing, Liben?
Yep.
Liben, how you doing? I'm great. Thank you. I got
Same.
wrestling on here. We're talking wrestling right now. I mean, I got this thing. You can't not be happy when you're holding this thing. And then we got, we'll save your comment, Jay, but what's popping to you? What's up, David? And good day to you, Vinny. All right. So it's been a crazy week, as we have said. You're getting praise all over. I'm just, solving problems per usual. And we got things on the way with the pay-per-view of Money in the Bank in 2 weeks. Before that, we open up the Forbidden Door, which we're all going to talk about. But this is the state of pro wrestling cannot be at its best, Sarah. It's just so great. You start talking now, because I can't roll around. I'm just so happy to be back, thrown off by the Joe Hendry sing along. And
Yeah.
how you doing?
Sorry, I was trying to see. So yeah, Money in the Bank is next weekend.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door is this weekend.
We're trying to, I don't know if you're still interested, but we were talking about live streaming during Raw. So we were going to do that, kind of like what all of the influencers are doing. Hold on a second.
Is she kind of okay? So continuing, what Sarah and I want to do is live stream us watching Raw together here in the Yard of Streams. Not a Raw rewind, but a Raw watch along. And we want to see if anyone would be interested in that. Sarah, I got you. I can continue. We want to see if you guys would be interested in that. Pretty much get to watch Raw alongside us. We already hear our thoughts after the show happens, so why not hear our show, as it happens, as we are live reacting? Because I'm down here already. I'm reacting to myself. I'd like to hear what you guys say. And I have some thoughts here. And I feel like a lot of people have this just in life in general, is when you have something, your thought immediately, like when you're watching Raw, SmackDown, AEW, whatever wrestling, and you have a thought about something, and then out of nowhere, you just forget it a couple of days later because it's just a fleeting thought. But in the moment, you would say, "Oh, it's a great topic to bring to a discussion or a group." I don't know. I have a lot of those during them, so I think live streaming and doing it while watching the show with you guys would be a good idea. Sarah, back from solving your own problems.
My nephew insisted that I open the door so that he could give me a Baby Yoda t-shirt.
Well, that's just so nice. You're
because
just
he
getting
knows
gifts left and right.
because he knows how much I love Baby Yoda. It's because
Are
he's
you gonna happy cry on stream?
it's just because he's just so sweet.
He is. He's a really sweet boy.
So what I was gonna say is, yeah, we were talking about streaming. Probably, I mean, it's hard because like we could probably do Twitch and on YouTube, because we were trying to build up our Twitch. But
it's
it's
there to
kind of
have.
hard. Yeah.
It's very hard with two people who we already are busy as it is.
Well, but also like Twitch is just not that easy to like really figure out.
World. That's another world. You
I
gotta
know.
go down that rabbit hole with Alice.
So we just wanted to test it out and see because it's gained popularity recently, like watch alongs, or at least us sitting and watching all of the shows together and like reacting in real time. So we were going to try it out and see how it goes. Previously, it's not been the best because we didn't have a lot of people join.
Oh my God, we used to do it for the pay-per-views.
Yes. So
that was fun though.
Try it for Raw and see how it goes. So if you guys want to hang out with us, then we should be live at 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday. As long as I can try and figure out a way that I can watch it without it being delayed. Because
that is tough. Like that.
I'm gonna try.
Didn't you say you have Fubo?
Yeah, well, I have to get a VPN, so and see if that works.
Fingers crossed here, girl.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for you. We already got some interest in it already in the chat here. Love to see that. Want to see the interest grow.
Yeah.
That'd be really freaking cool.
Yeah, because as long as you guys are like, if you want to tune in or something, like, then we'll do it more. It's just like, otherwise it's not the most fun because otherwise like me and Pat feel like we're being forced to talk to each other. Like, otherwise it's not
No, my phone just did a glitch. I tried to exit something and we started talking.
Because otherwise it's just the two of us sitting here like looking at the screens and being like, yeah, so we have 2.5 more hours of this,
into each other's eyes, gazing.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so if you're interested, we see some. Yes, we got some people in the chat that are into it. Love it. And you know what? I'm wearing a lemon. So segues are weird. We're talking about we love lemons are on my chest. It's time for my favorite segment of the week.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, Sara. Be a rosebud. It's time for our lemons and rosebuds of the week. Lemons are the worst thing. It's the worst, like our worst.
Our least favorite thing of the week. Yeah.
Favorite thing of the week, and then the best thing that we saw the week. That's how we're doing it. That's how it stays. So, Sara, enough of my royal rambling here. What was your rosebud of the week?
Mine is not very creative because I feel like I liked a lot of things this week. I don't feel like there was anything that really I was blown away by, I guess. But mine is kind of it's definitely a rosebud, but also I guess it's like a semi wilting rose for a certain reason. So I was very pleasantly surprised to see Judgment Day win back the tag team championships. I was very excited that Finn finally regains a championship, and I thought it was really cool that he was able to get the tag titles with one of his best friends, with JD McDonough. So that was really cool. Although I felt like the Awesome Truth's tag title run had run its course, I wasn't sold on them losing the titles on Raw. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, like I told you that I tweeted out that there was no reason for the Awesome Truth to remain the champions. And as I sent it, they lost. So I was like, okay. And I just quickly deleted it because I was like, that was weird timing.
It's so funny, the timing. It's like you just being like, nope, I so cancel this.
Yeah,
I like, okay,
in the universe. Yeah. But the reason why it's a little wilted, I would say, is only because I really wanted Finn to be in the Money in the Bank match. And I thought it would be a really cool possibility for him to win the briefcase simply because of how much storyline there could be with him holding the briefcase this time instead of Damian. But then this time, Damian's champion. And I feel like this kind of solidifies like he's not going to be in a last chance match the way that people were trying to say. And so I guess this just throws a wrench in what I thought was going to be the plan for the Judgment Day. But I'm still excited to see what comes about because I think the Judgment Day storyline with Liv and stuff is really good. So it's like I can't be too disappointed for too long, you know.
You can't be disappointed when Finn Balor has a championship, and not only one championship, it's a tag team championship with, and I'm quoting you when I say this, JD McDaddy.
Yeah.
I think that is how verbatim what you
Yes.
call him. So in that case, you can't be disappointed, but I do see where you're coming from. I would say on a lighter note that where there's more to the Judgment Day story with them winning the tag team titles than if he had the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Well, especially with that segment where he was in the Judgment Day clubhouse and Liv was just leaving. Like I mean, I'm still interested. So that's the thing is like I think I just got I bought into the fantasy booking of Finn winning because he was never the guy that I was hoping to win. I've said it from the beginning that I thought it would be awesome if Drew won. So I'm going to be disappointed no matter what because Drew's not winning and now Finn for sure is not winning. So as long as Jey Uso doesn't win, I guess I'll be fine. But
yeah, that's the KK, Sarah, we got that connection because I totally agree. I don't need to see Jey Uso winning. I really don't care who it is. Like I'd rather see Andrade. I'd rather see Carmelo Hayes, honestly.
Drew.
That would be hilarious. Not hilarious. Like hilarious that out of all those would be Carmelo, but I think the Money in the Bank would do more elevating him than putting it back on or putting it on Jey Uso, who has a whole ass family feud going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Roman returning right around the corner.
Yeah, you know, when he returns, everybody returns. That's what happens when the head of the table comes home, you know. So I'm gonna go to the Peeps Rosebuds because we not only did we have one before the show, actually. Shout out Jay. His Rosebud is Joe Hendry. And we believe, okay. And then the other one is a little bit down, is our pal Dickie. Finn winning tag gold. And the Bo, okay. I mean, the Bo was pro.
Yeah.
That was an interview. Or self-reflection?
Yeah. Well, and then it was such weird timing because I just sent you that video that I came across on Instagram of the interview with Bray Wyatt talking about their plans of wanting to work together and that it was just an inevitable. It wasn't an if. And like talking about how underrated Bo is. And like it was just such weird timing that like we saw that and then the next night on Raw that happened and he just killed it. So yeah, I would say that is definitely a rosebud. I think it's what we're seeing so far from the Wyatt Six looks really good. So that's pretty exciting.
It's unbelievable how well he did in that interview with basically himself. And for the longest time, you appreciated Bo for what he was doing. You didn't appreciate him as a whole. You know, in every role that he was in, he crushed it. Like even when he was on the B squad or B team, teaming with Heath Slater and Michael McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel, whatever you want to call him. Like he was crushing it in that role. And then to go from that to this and also crush it on such another level, it's just like, wow, the range. And the people that I sent it to weren't even wrestling fans. Like this one guy was just a big movie fan, wanted to go into movies at work. And he was like, I didn't understand the, element
context,
of it, of context. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for, context. I understand the context of it, but I found it absolutely enthralling. Like, it was so good, and it made you feel.
Well, and I think people are kind of overlooking this too, that he's playing both roles.
Yeah.
So this was an
Yeah.
interview with himself, and it was that good. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy when you're doing a scene with someone, and I'm not saying I'm an actress or anything, but I'm saying, like, when you're going back and forth with somebody else, like, you're only focused on, okay, what am I going to say? How do I need to react? Like, whatever, but he's having to portray himself and Uncle Howdy, make it seem like a cohesive conversation, but also make it entertaining and whatever else, that they're trying to do. Like, that's not easy to do on your own, because he had to film that twice, as each one time as each person. So
At least one time.
it's like that's going a little bit under the radar, I think, because it's like he played them both, or he did the whole thing so well that you kind of forget that he is also Uncle Howdy,
I sent it to my brother in Hollywood, and he was like, I don't get it. I'm like, well, watch it. Watch it and let me know. And then I told him what it was and whatnot, and I'm still waiting to hear back. But he did like it. He at least liked it. All right. So my Rosebud, there's a lot here. I could obviously say my AEW one, because I'm not really, kind of have the difference here. But I'm gonna go with AEW for I'm trying to think, actually. I don't know what my Rosebud is. I'm trying to I had like so many, and then I just kind of lost it because we started there. That's really tough. This is awkward. This is like I'm literally having a brain fart. I
I
had
would
like
help
one.
you, but I can't, because I don't watch, so like I couldn't be like, oh well, this was good,
I just had a total brain fart. You know what? That's just gonna be my Rosebud for now. I mean, the Uncle Howdy was kind of my Rosebud. I mean, it was the best thing, but like, there's just so much that I've been kind of catching up on, and that we're gonna talk about, that I have kind of strong feelings about. And once we get to my lemon, trust me, I think it'll overshadow my lack of a Rosebud, because it is
Yeah.
the worst thing I've seen. So you know what, Sarah? That's gonna be our segue.
Okay.
That's going to be our segue to my lemon of the week, because I don't have a Rosebud. I like everything. When you choose your Rosebud, Sarah, it's one singular thing. All right. I don't really have that one singular passion for one thing this week in wrestling, because I'm really interested in everything. It's been great. It's been awesome. I can go to AEW, and I'm actually excited for Forbidden Door after even watching a video. I just, Cultaholic, love them. Watch one of their videos. I mean, obviously we could go on and on about WWE. We already have 2 shows about it, but God damn it, this is without a doubt the worst thing that's going on in wrestling right now.
On the learning tree.
So I can't stand it. All right, and I'll fully hand up. I'll own up that I was into it at first. I really did. I thought it was just like, all right, I get it. It's funny, going along with kind of opening the Forbidden Door in a way, that fourth wall. But now it too far. All right. Like, I'm just so sick of it that we cannot be seeing it every week. And also we cannot be getting it on the pay-per-view. I feel like we are. I'd have to double check that. But the fact that we're getting it on Forbidden Door makes no sense. Oh, we are. It's a 6-man tag.
Awesome.
Like, why do I still see Chris Jericho on my screen every week? I'm 28 years old. Dude, you look like I can't.
No, I mean, I
really
feel like I've
getting
exhausted anything that I have to say about this, because I think that I think I've said it before, that one of the biggest problems in AEW is that they don't have enough people to just tell their talent sometimes, like, this ain't working, like, this isn't a good idea, blah 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 blah. And instead it's like Jericho's enabled to keep going out there and doing this, and he thinks he's like winning. And it's like, no, as I said when we were talking about this before, everything in professional wrestling is based on the reaction of the fans. So even if you are a bad guy, you want to get booed. You need a reaction, because no reaction is the worst thing possible.
You can't have no. If
It's
you're, yeah,
it's like being a stand-up comedian. Like, nobody laughing is bad. You know, like if the room is silent, that's bad. It's the same thing in wrestling. If they're not cheering or booing you, that's bad. So with Jericho, they're not booing you because of your character and you're portraying it so well. It's that people can't stand you because of what you're doing behind the scenes, on screen, like the fact that you're trying to troll, but it's not really, like, it's just not working. So I mean, whatever, I guess. I don't
mean,
know
you're
why they
going,
keep letting it happen, but
you're going out there and you're quoting Cody Rhodes, who said something about guys who go to AEW or other companies where when they say that they're there for the young guys, it's just a mask essentially. And Jericho said that as a dig, but here's the thing: if anyone else did it, like, I'll give an example, like Edge doing it and Cody saying it, like, I don't think there's a real connection there. I think, yeah, obviously he wants to do well for himself, but Edge is going to mentor some people along the way. Disagree, whatever, we can disagree, it's fine.
I just
But
mean,
for
because I
Chris,
agree with Cody. Everyone's in business for themselves.
yes,
Everybody.
yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Like, they might think
I,
that they're there to do that, but no, you're trying to get yourself over. You're
you
trying to get
can
on
mentor,
TV.
but you can
Yeah.
mentor and do all that shit, but at the end of the day, you're gonna think of yourself. Here's the thing: Jericho is like, he's living proof of exactly what Cody said, and he's making fun of it with what Cody, you know what I'm like, you
Well,
see kind of the
it,
headache that is there.
it didn't make any sense. It's
Made
like,
no sense.
the thing is why use it as a dig at Cody? Like, what did Cody do to you? Like, I just don't really. You're going at the big fish now. That's the only reason you're even like quoting anything that he had to say, because you're mad that he like left and now he's the big fish in WWE or something. I don't know. It just seems like the wrong guy to pick on. That's the thing with the guys in AEW. If any of them say anything to slight Cody, it just is weird to me, because like I don't feel like he burned bridges with any of them. But whatever. And then, you know, as we said, Jericho's also quoting Meltzer, and it's like, what are you?
That's what I was.
What do you think you're accomplishing with that? What do you think you're doing? Like, you think you're funny? No, it's not funny.
I want to give a shout out to Humble Wrestling, who I think follows both of us, and I've been following for a while. When he tweeted actually, referencing Wrestling Observer newsletter achievements on your weekly shows is a cheat code to tell the audience that you should not take this segment seriously. Boy, howdy, that is the most spot on tweet I have seen this week.
Tony Khan's does it too, but
because
like, how many 5-star matches have we
That's
had?
what I'm saying.
No one cares, bro. No one
when
cares.
you're doing it on your shows, other shows, promotional show, like, it doesn't. It's not good.
Well,
okay?
and since when is Dave Meltzer like the end all be all? Like, he is the guy that dictates how well a match was. Like, just because he's been doing it forever, he is not a legitimate, you know, person to sit there and criticize or praise a match. He's not like a legendary movie reviewer. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a random dude who had a computer. Like, I don't know.
I know people who have been in the ring and do this shit, but they've been in the ring like as an appearance, or not as a wrestler, but a mouthpiece or a valet or manager. And I take their opinion more than Dave Meltzer.
Well, yeah.
Okay. It's not even close. And if people do, like, don't go that route, I can't help you. You know, like, I can't help you.
Yeah.
So we need to put those people in their place. Jericho must have creative sayings. He has the Hulk Hogan. I was
just gonna say that he's Hulk Hogan. That's the thing, is like, he probably has shit on Hogan in the past, but he's literally WCW Hogan, just not making the same money.
You live long, or you die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
I just think it's funny that Jericho would even think he's in the same stratosphere as Hulk Hogan.
Not a chance in hell. I appreciate Chris Jericho, the wrestler.
Yeah.
Not.
Well, his real last name's not Jericho, so I think you're good. That's like, I like Chris Jericho, not Chris blah blah blah, whatever his name
Exactly.
is.
And I don't care. He's great, but not now. You know, like I don't want to see another Hulk Hogan. We had one Hulk Hogan. We still low key do have one Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it anymore. Okay. Yeah, Jericho pretty much admitted that Cody was talking about. I mean, when you mention it on the show,
Well,
I don't care if he mentioned it or not.
but the thing is, though,
that's
is
right
like
there.
this felt to me like, you know, if someone sends out like a very generic tweet and you think that they subtweeted you, that means you're feeling guilty or that the tweet applies to you, even if it isn't about you. And so to me, Cody was probably just speaking generically because even CM Punk said that when he came back to WWE. So I highly doubt that Cody was taking a hit at Punk for saying it. So Jericho saying it meant that he cried about it when he heard it, thinking that it was about him, because of course everybody's life revolves around what Chris Jericho thinks and does and whatever. So of course Cody was saying it about him. And so him saying it, I'm like, you just look like an insecure little boy. That's what it looks like to me. Like, you think it's all about you, but it's not. Like, it's not. No one's going around being like, I want to be like Chris Jericho. No one's saying that.
Oh, I can't. I hate it. I can't stand it. And I'm not gonna lie, I would much rather be talking about the other stuff that we have going on. Oh no, we got to your lemon.
Mm-mm.
Well, I would like to talk about the fun stuff. We have to hear what you're sad about too, Sarah. I don't. What's got you down this week in wrestling?
I would say it is Mark Henry's take on the Wyatt Six.
Oh, thank God! I thank you for reminding me. Go off.
So he was on, I believe it was on Busted Open. I'm assuming it was on Busted Open.
It had to be. That's his show.
And he was talking about the picture of all the members of the Wyatt Six that they took at Whataburger with a fan after their debut on Raw a couple weeks ago. And he was very unhappy about it. He had this long spiel about why he hated it and blah, blah, blah. But the main gist of it is that he was upset that they didn't stick to kayfabe, is basically what it is. Because he was saying, like, you know, when you're portraying a character like that, like, you know the drill. You go through the drive-through and then you eat in the parking lot. Like, you don't get out and go in the restaurant and get the food and then take a picture with a fan. And I'm like, we're not living in 1984 anymore. This isn't people, you know, little kids believing that Hulk Hogan really is a real life superhero. People know that who are behind those masks. They know that, you know, Bo Dallas is not really Uncle Howdy. Like, no one said this about Bray Wyatt. No one says this about The Undertaker. Like, are we supposed to believe that The Undertaker really is dead and came back to life? Like, should he not be doing a podcast? You know what I mean? Like, we're in 2024. I don't feel that this is that important. I think with certain things, it does suck that there really isn't any blurring of the lines, or like there really isn't a way for anybody to live in the character 24/7. And I feel like in certain ways that kind of sucks, because I think that it does add an element to the show that doesn't exist anymore. But I think when it comes to the Wyatt Six, which a lot of people don't want them to be considered like supernatural and stuff like that, then wouldn't them being showing that they're actually human be okay? Like,
yeah, it's not supernatural, it's psychological. All right, that's what they're portraying. And it is so asinine in this day and age to expect that that's gonna, like, you want to go up to them to tell them they're doing a great job, because that character that they're portraying is someone that has been told you are not doing a good job in life. You are an outcast. You are a socialite, whatever. That's not the right word, but you get the point. You are an outcast of society, and you are not. That's what psychological is. All right. So because of that, you have to take it for that and go up to them and appreciate what they're doing. I don't care anymore. Like, I know that we've known that we know who all these people are.
That's what
I mean. It's known information. Before it wasn't. I don't know their real names. I know their stage names.
But also, I think that they were probably just really excited that they finally got to
over.
debut, and all of their hard work was finally, like, we finally saw it, and they got a really great reaction. So they were like, hey, let's go out and grab some burgers. It's like, it was one picture too. It wasn't like there was a whole host of fans there and they took like 80 pictures. You know, it was like this random kid just happened to be at the same restaurant that they were at the same time, and probably was just like, oh, this is cool. Can I have a picture? He probably hadn't even watched Raw. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he was at the restaurant, he probably hadn't even watched it. So I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I feel like if we're talking about, you know, like I said, like 30 years ago, then all right, sure, complain about that, but not right now.
Yeah, it's too method acting level for me where you just don't need anymore.
Yeah.
You just don't. That's our favorite segment of the week. And Sarah, you mentioned we're trying to do the live stream on Monday. We're doing new things here. So I thought for this week's show, I'm gonna start some structure a little bit. All right, we have structure with the Raw Rewind, SmackDown Breakdown with the segments and whatnot. We're doing it a little bit here instead of just throwing out topics of like might be news, whatever. Let's just go for it with Around the Wrestleverse. Because what we need people to know that we're not just WWE. We talk all ball here. We got AEW, TNA in the background. So why not talk about it all? And it's not the first banner here, but it's definitely the most breaking of news right now. That WWE will not be renewing Dijak's contract.
Mm-hmm.
Dijak put out a tweet that essentially neither WWE do not want to re-up his contract, even though that Dijak did want to, and that he will be his contract expires tomorrow. So it's very sad. I thought there was a lot of potential there with Dijak and the feuds that he could possibly had. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that set.
Well, and there's a new guy in charge of like contracts and stuff. They had fired the previous guy like a couple months ago or something. So this could be something because of that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like that the other guy was great and this guy isn't, but like I knew this was coming. There's a clip that we have on the channel because that's literally called Dijak might leave WWE before even debuting. Like, someone even commented on it this morning because of the news. I'm like, yeah,
we've been talking.
I predicted this like over like a month ago. I was like, it's not looking good, and I really would not be surprised if he doesn't debut on Raw and instead leaves. And it looks like that's what's happening. So and I believe I said in that video that I would completely understand, because if they're not pitching storylines, they don't want to utilize you, or they're even a little bit iffy, like, oh, maybe we could try this or maybe this, you know, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and whatever he's telling us is not going to be 100% the truth, because that's just how it is. But I don't blame him one bit for kind of wanting to take control of his career and be like, okay, what you've pitched to me isn't good, or you haven't even said anything, so why would I resign? Or you haven't even approached me about resigning, so I'm gonna gladly leave. Like, that's totally fine, because I think that for a long time, wrestlers have not had control over their careers. As long as they were under contract, it's like they had to make a big fuss or something to get out of it, or maybe they felt like they had to resign, whatever it is. I think that if he feels like this isn't the right place for me, at least not right now, then yeah, I'm going to leave and I'll go somewhere else to people who actually want me in their company. So it sucks for everybody, obviously, who wanted to see what he could do with the main roster talent, but we'll probably just have to watch him in, I'm guessing, TNA. He screams TNA to me.
He's a big TNA. I would like to see him just be an independent guy, like go to soft ground wrestling. That would be an unbelievable appearance for him, and just do his own, because he's such a unique character, and so, you know, just very just a unique character that adds any sort of element to, I don't know, just really good. I'm lost him, but whatever. I don't So I think it's a missed opportunity there with WWE. So
Well, I guess it's
Whatever.
better that he didn't debut and deal with the Cameron Grimes situation. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I would
they did pull him along, and
Yeah,
so
I
it
feel
is.
like he's in a better spot than Grimes was because when he first got drafted, he was on TV every week and he was getting, promo segments and whatever. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. Like they're doing right by him. And then he just completely fell off the face of the planet. I feel like that would be so much worse than being drafted and then they're like, yeah, we don't have anything for you yet, but let's see, blah 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 blah, and then just nothing coming from it, and then you leave. I feel like that would be frustrating. Both situations would be frustrating, but I would rather have not tasted the main roster yet. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to know what that felt like and then have it stripped away from me.
It's okay. I'm with that. Yeah, that would suck. I'm just sad. I'm just really sad about
I know.
it. Because another person that is dealing with contract issues, Ricky Stark. I actually have some notes on, Sarah.
Is it
All right.
Stark or Starks?
Ricky Stark.
Are you
Nope,
sure?
it's Ricky
Okay.
Starks because it's
Okay.
not. It's
I ask because sometimes people will say S's on the end of names when there is no S, so that's why I was double checking. I'm like, have I been saying it wrong?
It's different from Tony. That's how I know. So what was it? Okay, so Ricky Stark posted a video, something on his Instagram a couple of days ago, whatnot, that got people talking, and then is spurred out big news about Ricky Stark and his contract issues, and that he last wrestled for the company on March 30th. He's not been on TV since March 30th, and that and it was with Big Bill, whatnot, and there are reports now that he is by Fightful that he is denying contract issue or denying storylines. I mean, for his character and even for the tease for them to break up him and Big Bill. They wanted to do a Big Bill and him feud, but he didn't want to do that. So, Sarah, basically, this means Ricky Starks wants out. I don't see why not just grant him his release. You're gonna lose him to WWE anyway, even if he waits. So waits out the contract or whatnot. It's kind of inevitable because he's Cody's guy, and that they actually could use a guy like Ricky Starks on their roster.
I don't know that it necessarily means that he wants out because when we've talked about it before, he's tiptoed around actually speaking badly about AEW or Tony Khan or anything. Like he doesn't really say that. Like he said, this is just the business. Like they just don't have anything for me right now, and that's okay. Blah blah blah. Like he's trying to be, PC. He's trying to say all of the right things, and I applaud him for that because I don't think that's easy to do. Nor is it common. A lot of people that are in his situation would be complaining online, doing whatever to try and get attention over the fact that they're not being used. And it's like, I get it being frustrated, but also blasting them online is not really helping, the situation.
That's what I think.
So, I don't blame him for, again, as I was just saying about Dijak, like trying to take control of his career. If he's saying like, no, these storylines that you're pitching to me are awful, I don't want to do that. Especially at this point, he's almost been off TV for 3 months. So like, if you're going to be bringing him back, it can't just be some like shitty, randomly thought of story just to get him on TV. It's like, no, you should probably like put a little bit more thought and effort into it. But I do think kind of Richard said too, about Dijak, that the main roster in WWE is kind of bloated, which I've always said was going to be an issue because of how much good talent that they have in NXT. So then trying to then bring them up into Raw and SmackDown was going to be a problem. And I've said that about AEW, that they're flooded with talent. So there are going to be really good guys and girls that are not going to be able to get any TV time because it's like, well, we only have this many hours a week. These people are all in active storylines. They're the fan favorite, whatever. We don't have time for you. And it kind of feels like that's what Ricky's in. And I wouldn't be surprised, as we've said, like, yeah, he's going to be WWE bound eventually. I mean, there's a reason he's been backstage multiple times for Cody. Cody's hinted at it being something that's going to happen eventually. So I don't know when. It might be sooner than later if maybe they get fed up with each other, but I feel like we're not quite there yet. So it's a situation to monitor, probably.
It is a situation to monitor for sure. It just bring him over. Mr. Anderson even says Ricky Starks and NXT would be great.
Yes.
Dickie even agrees.
Yes.
Like
he screams NXT and like being huge in NXT and then having a really easy transition to the main roster. Because I think we also need to move past thinking NXT is only for developmental. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it's definitely more developmental than it was during the majority of the black and gold era, because then we know that it became more of like Triple H trying to sign every indie big guy
and make it his own. Yes, and build
which
his
worked
own
great.
kingdom.
Shawn Michaels is all, trying to do it where, okay, yeah, these people are green as grass and we need to give them reps and experience. But then at the same time, there's a reason why veterans like Sean Spears, like there's a reason he's in NXT. He doesn't need to be in NXT, but he is, because Ricky would go there, but he would need to be introduced to the WWE audience, get a fan base, get attention, like become a household name for WWE audiences. That's basically the only reason he would need to be in NXT.
It's a bridge.
Yes.
It's a bridge.
Yeah.
NXT is just simply a bridge.
Yeah. In certain situations, yeah. Because I think that, like I said, they're definitely more developmental than they used to be. And I think it's good. But in Ricky's case, it would be like, no, it's just to kind of get acquainted with who you are and whatever. And you'd inevitably come up. Because, like, look at what happened with Solo Sikoa. He was literally in NXT for like the shortest amount of time.
Like a minute.
Yeah. And so it's like that could happen with Ricky too, because who knows? Maybe he'll like come up and join like Cody's squad or something like that. I don't know.
We bring up an example of this NXT bridge that we just brought up is Roxanne Perez. I believe that I thought for the longest time that Roxanne was this NXT prodigy. Booker found her in NXT and, she's so young. Well, yeah, she's NXT. Of course she's young, whatever. No, did you know she's like one of the longest Ring of Honor champions of all time?
I know. It's insane for how young she is too. I'm like, wow.
She legit is a prodigy. Like because they brought her into NXT and you learn who she's like, yeah, she is a prodigy. Then you like, when you become a fan, you want to learn, you do your research.
Yeah.
And you learn more and you're like, holy shit. Like, she's a lot better than I expected or even thought. So it's a good thing to bring him to NXT, and NXT should not be kind of typecasted as a developmental when it really is just a stepping stone. Like, it's just an introduction, a 101 to WWE.
Well, and I think it's good for someone that's her age. I think that it was better for them to have her start in NXT because, I mean, she's like, what, 22 or something? Like, it's ridiculous how young she is. So, I mean, I think that it was better to kind of have her on NXT and have the career that she's been having before moving her up. And because she would have been fine on the main roster anyway, but we also know that you kind of have to be a little bit lower your expectations when it comes to the women's division sometimes, because you think that everything is going well or this girl is going to get proper TV time and then it doesn't happen. So I feel like she's thriving in NXT, which means that she'll thrive on the main roster.
Agreed. Ricky is WWE. He's with Cody. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Eventually.
Did you see that reaction that he had in the booth? Yeah. He's obviously a Cody Rhodes guy and will eventually be in WWE. And I just pray that day comes sooner rather than later. And Dragon Lee was 1,000% agree with you, Dickie. And
he was he was just in a different situation because he was a bigger guy in the indies too, wasn't he?
Way bigger. He was in AEW.
Yeah.
He was I think he was fighting with the Lucha Brothers. I know that
I would
very
use him better, but
he's in the LWO vortex.
Wow, yeah.
Like I don't know how to get out of that. Carlito kind of is out of it, but not really. Neither is Dom. See, once you're kind of in for life.
Yeah, I guess so.
Unfortunately. AEW Forbidden Door. What?
I was gonna say at least it's better than the Learning Tree Chris Jericho
Oh my
vortex.
god, no, that's a black motherfucking hole. I can't.
Yeah,
No, that shit is.
that's nightmare fuel.
Yeah, bro. I don't want to go there. I would rather stay here in the yard. My yard, Sarah. Our
Okay.
yard. All right. Well, enough talking about yards. Let's talk about doors, especially ones that are forbidden. We got the Forbidden Door presented by AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling this Sunday. I don't want to go through all the matches in the card because let's face it, we're not there. I don't know all these names like I do. Or like we do WWE. But there are some interesting storylines here, Sarah. There are some interesting storylines and matches, I would say.
Okay.
Do you know the name Zack Sabre Jr.?
Yes.
Him versus Orange Cassidy, I think, is going to be a sleeper match, like match of the night potentially. They're both technical. Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. is a technical wizard, and Orange Cassidy just finds a way to win. It has a recipe for show stealer. We have a it's 6-way ladder match for the vacant TNT Championship because Adam Copeland had to relinquish it due to injury. We have Dante Martin, who basically just think of like Evan Bourne on steroids. He's insane.
Yeah.
Perfect for a ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Then you
or
have
Matt Seidel, actually.
Evan Bourne, Matt Seidel, tomato potato. Mark Briscoe, who might be the most entertaining man on the AEW roster right now. They do this segment with him, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy, where Mark Briscoe goes nuts. Kyle O'Reilly just sits there like a fangirl, and then Orange Cassidy just does his Orange Cassidy thing and just is unfazed by anything. It's my favorite. That's my rosebud. You know what? Callback. That's my rosebud of the week. Are those segments? Fucking love them. Leo Rush is in it. Interesting. Konosuke Takeshita, who is a beast. Oh my god, he's a beast. And then my scapegoat and yours, Jack Perry. And I just hope Jack Perry wins this. They have a wild card in it. I know I had 5 names that I said, but there's 6 people in the match. It's someone to be determined later. I don't know who it is yet. And then I'm trying to think of Mercedes Moné taking on Stephanie Vacor. Let me click it. I can't. Let me make it bigger. Yeah, Stephanie Vacor. It's title for title, TBS Championship, and New Japan Women's Strong Pro Wrestling Championship. Fun fact: it's the one that she lost because she got injured during her match with Willow. So title for title. I have a feeling they're going to go with Mercedes winning this, and she's gonna. Yeah, I have a weird feeling about that. She's going on her little tour right now, and she went on some show today talking about how WWE was like pulling teeth to try to get time off for filming The Mandalorian, and Tony Khan said that pretty much you work when you're available type of thing, and that you could do her thing, which honestly, power to you. I'm not gonna hate on that. I think that's exactly the type of wrestler that Mercedes Moné, or just Mercedes period, wanted to be growing up. And if that was her dream and she's doing it, fucking get it, girl. I don't care. But let's not pretend that WWE, I don't want to see her go down that road of let's pretend WWE was, evil and whatnot. Let's just appreciate it, leave it like she said, I'm not Sasha. Yeah, you're not. I'm great. Like, great. But I'm getting a little anxiety right here that we're going to go down that road, rebash the other company. And
the problem that I have, though, is like, she's someone who wants to have it both ways. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm not Sasha Banks. I'll never be Sasha Banks, blah, blah, blah. But then she wants to get paid based on what she did at Sasha Banks. So, like, how does that... No, I'm not saying, no, you're not listening. She doesn't want anybody to acknowledge, like, she doesn't want you to remember she was Sasha Banks. Like, don't, like,
okay.
I'm Mercedes, like, I'm not Sasha. But then she goes around and says, well, I want to be paid for based off my career as Sasha Banks. So we either acknowledge that you were Sasha Banks or we don't. What is it? Because, like, you can't forget what got you to this point that you're at in your career. You know, like, it's like Daniel Radcliffe. He's one of those that like doesn't want you to remember that he was Harry Potter. It's like, it's so embarrassing, but it's like, if it weren't for Harry Potter, no one would know who you were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it feels like this is the same situation where, okay, yeah, you did a lot in WWE and you are like the face of the women's division. That's probably why you weren't allowed to have time off when you wanted, first of all, but let's not acknowledge that. But then it's like, we have to be able to acknowledge that you were Sasha Banks and you accomplished a lot. And that is why you wanted all of this money and why you won a title in your debut match in AEW and why it was such a big deal that you jumped ship. Like, what are we doing here?
It's making her a big star. I get them doing that, but you do make a valid point. You have to recognize that Sasha kind of launch padded you there.
If there was no Sasha Banks, there would be no Mercedes Moné. Like, sorry, there wouldn't be.
It was definitely a Vince thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
but also because it depends on when is she talking about, or like what was she involved in, and was she the champion at the time? Like, there's so many factors that
was she smart about it? Like, was she like a John Cena about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and the thing that I take issue with, like, I don't care if you want to talk crap about WWE, that's fine, but let's stop acting like Triple H was actively involved in this, because like at the time that she was in WWE, Vince was the one making the decisions. So you taking shots at WWE, people automatically put it on Triple H and the regime that's running things right now. And so then they go and be like, haha, like they suck, this and that. No, it was Vince. We know that Vince sucked 99% of the time. So like, why are we talking about it now? You could easily just say, you know, when I was working on The Mandalorian, like, it wasn't easy to get time off. Like, you don't have to say why. You could just be like, there, you know, there was just so much going on. Like, I wasn't able to get time off the way I wanted, but I'm in a place now where I can afford to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't have to constantly take shots. That's the thing. Like, you don't have to. You're choosing to.
I don't want it. I hope we don't see it, but I don't know. And then the Timeless Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. This feud is awesome. I love this feud, and I hope that Mariah May low-key chooses Mina over Timeless Toni Storm. That would be awesome. And then your main event, Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. I watched Cultaholics 9 pitches for Forbidden Door, and their one for Swerve and Will Ospreay was really good. I disagree, though. I just want to see Swerve win. I just want to see Swerve continue this and Will Ospreay feud with MJF. That's been teased. It was teased last night. Or yeah, we're on Thursday. It was teased last night, and that's where I want to see Will Ospreay go. He already has one championship. You don't need both, bruv. Okay, you don't need them.
Yeah.
So, and then to wrap up around the verse, who do you want to see answer Jordan Grace's TNA Knockout Open?
Didn't someone already answer it?
She's doing another one.
Oh,
that's why.
So from WWE?
Yeah, we're talking Forbidden Door. Let's stay on the theme here. I mean, there's a lot of names.
I mean, okay. Do you think they're trying to give an opportunity to a girl who might need it? Or do you think that they would send over like a Roxanne? I'm not saying they would, but like,
okay,
because they chose Tatum Paxley, like, do you think that they would pick like a Sol Ruca?
No, they're not picking Sol Ruca.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, would they pick? I mean,
they pick someone. All right, so I'll give you my 2. These are my 2 that I would love to see. And when I say this, I don't think or know if it's gonna happen, but goddamn, I'd love it.
I already know one. I think. Go ahead.
Who?
Go ahead. Just go.
Mia Yim.
Oh, okay. Michin. She goes by Michin now.
I forgot because TNA, she has the connection there when she was Mia Yim. And then the next one is Chelsea Green.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
I would love both of those.
But when is this supposed to? Are they
I
supposed
forget.
to?
I just saw. You know what? Let me.
Well, and I ask because Chelsea's in Money in the Bank. So.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say Lola Vice. That's what I thought you were going to say.
No, I'm not. I'm using the top head. Okay.
Stop being disgusting.
I'm using my brain here. I want to see that. I want to be a wrestling fan to see that match fucking slap. Oh my god. Chelsea Green needs to be on TV more because she's already done her job of showing that she can do like the camera work, just being a star in that regard. But when she gets in the ring, like she's fucking fantastic.
I think the Money in the Bank is going to be so good to open the eyes of people who don't know about how good she actually is, because I think that she's going to have the chance to show a lot of what she can do. We know that anyway with ladder matches is when people just go off because it's such a unique stipulation, obviously. So people, the men and the women specifically, you definitely think that they compete against each other. And we've said over the last few years, a lot of the times when there's a men's match and a women's match, like the Rumble, Money in the Bank, the women have been doing way better. So I'm very interested to see if that is the case this year. And I really think that both matches so far from who we've seen qualify, they're going to be bangers. Like they're going to be so good, and it's a really good opportunity for someone like Chelsea.
So Money in the Bank is next week.
Yeah, next Saturday.
She's doing this at the tapings for TNA tomorrow.
Okay.
On June 28th, because we probably make a clip or whatever. June 28th.
Yeah, so possibly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they don't have a WWE person this time, just because they just had Paxley like answer. So maybe they want to, do someone in TNA now and then.
Who would you like? Yeah, I agree with that. But if she does it, I want to see one of those two.
I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I like their connections to TNA. I think that makes it a little bit more interesting. I think I would stick with that just because I feel like some of the other girls, like they're not necessarily ready for that, or they don't need to be facing Jordynne Grace right now. You know what I mean? They don't need to be crossing over to TNA just yet. I think some of the people that you would be interested in have already faced Jordynne, or like if people are really high up on Lola Vice. Well, she just had that like match with Shayna Baszler, so it's like she's not really in a position to need to go and fight Jordynne right now. So
no, yeah, and she's already involved with Roxanne. Like, yeah, I'm interested in that. I want to see that title match.
Mm-hmm.
She did this.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, the hip thing.
Also,
we got to 1900.
Yeah.
Let's go mid-show. Let's ride. That's how we do it. Thank you, peeps. Oh, that's my rosebud of the week, hands down. Mr. Anderson wants to see Jade Cargill. That would be awesome.
That would be interesting.
That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a comic book fight come to life. I'm sorry.
That that wouldn't be that bad of an idea, except she's on SmackDown tomorrow. So,
well, maybe if she does another one.
Well, doing 2 tapings in one night.
No,
you just said TNA was. Oh well, yeah.
Another
I just meant
knockout.
He couldn't answer this week, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm going in the future if she does another one, because at this point, I don't see any girl on the TNA roster defeating Jordynne Grace currently.
Well, I find it hard to believe that anyone in WWE would beat her also, but just because I don't think any of them, why would they want a WWE talent being TNA Knockouts champion?
That's what I mean. I just want to see the match. It's our time to fantasy book. Thank you, Vinny, for the congratulations. Means a lot, pal. All right, what's next here? Oh yeah, thoughts and feelings. Doing a new segment here. Thoughts and feelings. We give our logistical opinions here for what you just saw, but now it's time to let our feelings out, because we need to let our feelings out. All right, you can't hold things up. You need to let it out. Let it breathe. so things get better. So we're starting out with a couple segments. Due to time, I think we're gonna cut a couple. But I'll give a couple quick little thoughts and feelings on it, and then yeah. So we'll start with the Bloodline 2.0. I feel like it's getting a lot of hate. Go.
I feel like I've made my opinion known. I think that the Bloodline 2.0 is just fine. I don't love everything. I feel like part of it is just that Solo is not a great actor yet. But again, as I've said, neither was Roman Reigns early in his career. You could even argue that he wasn't great during the Bloodline all the time. So I think that people need to be patient. I think that's the word that I would say with the Bloodline 2.0 is patience, but then also give them a chance. Give them a chance. Like, this is a new thing, and you know, we said that we need to stop comparing it to the original Bloodline because that's not what it is. Like, people need to just look at it for what it is. This is what it is. This is a brand new faction. It's kind of how you should be viewing it instead of being the second coming of something that's already been done. I don't think that's what they're trying to do, and we've said that so many times. So
Drew McIntyre appearing on TNA.
I think that would be so fun. Super weird though, because he was Drew Galloway. So that would be a little interesting, you know. But I would love that crossover. That's why I feel like the TNA WWE crossover thing is so interesting. Because there are so many people on both rosters that used to be in the other company. So it's like really interesting to think about, like, are they going to try to steer away from that? Like, are we going to not want Drew McIntyre in TNA because, you know, he was Drew Galloway or whatever? Do we not want LA Knight in TNA because he was Eli Drake? You know what I mean? Like, are we still going to stick to those traditional wrestling rules?
Yeah.
But if they don't, I would be interested, especially him and Joe Hendry. Hello.
My thought, I had this come to me today. CM Punk and Drew, this feud is going to be generational, as we already know. But one way to elevate in my eyes is to the point where management pisses Drew off to the point where he actually like quits and doesn't show up for a week or two on TV, whatnot. But he shows up on TNA. He's like, I'm getting a fresh start. I need to get CM Punk out of my head. I just want to come back to a place that I am familiar with, wink, wink. And then has like maybe 2 or 3 matches. All right, 2, maybe, whatever. Then CM Punk comes out into TNA and says, you cannot escape me. And that is another element that gets put into their feud.
I would be terrified if CM Punk said that to me.
You cannot escape me?
Yeah, that's nightmare fuel for me. That's nightmare fuel for me. I would be horrified.
That's such like a twisted thing to say. And I just said that so casually, but now thinking about it, like,
you cannot escape me. I'd be like, get away from me, Phil. Philip, get away. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here, Philly.
Oh, that's so funny.
Calling him Philip is kind of funny.
And can you imagine calling him Philip to his face?
It reminds me of the Rugrats. Remember Phil and Will, the twins, but like it was like Philip, you know.
That was kind of spot on.
Kind of was. But Lillian always called him Philip.
Philip.
Yeah. Anyway.
The Rugrats was one of my goat shows. CM Punk was in TNA before. Yes.
He's been everywhere.
With Raven. He was with Raven in TNA. All right.
He was also, I mean, I'm sure people remember at this point, but he was also one of the like mafia guys for John Cena's WrestleMania entrance.
He was on the car.
Yeah, he's been everywhere. Literally.
MSG is the home of WWE. And I'm going to take the driver's seat on this one because I've had this debate with New York people saying that Madison Square Garden is more of a home for WWE than it is their own sports teams who play at that venue.
Do they agree?
No. Oh. I am so not in their ballpark, and they do not like when I bring it up. but I am right. Okay. Name me championships that have been won at Madison Square Garden.
Like basketball or
You can name like a number. You can name like the
oh,
teams. Like, I don't care. I'm
I
just
don't
trying
know,
to
like
prove a point.
2,
Great.
0.
I think that's like low key really close to how many have actually been won there,
Is
too.
it 0?
I don't know it, but it's like,
Oh.
I know it's a low number. Okay. And insane events from sporting events, concerts and whatnot. WWE was literally born
Mhm.
in these live at this venue during their live shows with Bruno Sammartino, Pedro Morales, Hulk, like you name it, they built it. Okay,
Mhm.
now WWE is without a doubt the not only most profitable and all those numbers, money things, but probably the number one business in wrestling history, maybe even entertainment history, all that shit. You could go on for hours about hyperboles. But the point I'm trying to make is no other team in New York has done that or
Mhm.
anywhere.
Mhm.
And the events that have happened at Madison Square Garden, like Michael Jordan, it's more of a home for him than the Knicks. You know what I mean? Like the Knicks don't own it
Yeah.
for me. The Rangers don't own it. WWE owns it.
I also think they should stop calling it the Garden because that's TD Garden. Sorry.
I agree on an emotional level, and I'm
Yeah.
going to agree with you here because
Yeah.
we're in thoughts and feelings.
Yes.
So my feeling is that I agree with you. However, my head is saying, Sarah,
No.
but my
Just for
feeling,
my but do you remember, I don't know if you ever heard this story about Trent Brown saying like he invited some teammates or whatever to a concert. I don't remember who it was. It was just like a rapper or something. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's at the Garden," right? And so he goes to the concert. None of them show up. They all went to Madison Square Garden because Trent Brown was on the Patriots. So, like, to him, the Garden is the TD
no
Garden.
way.
So, like, it made me laugh because I'm like, yeah, like, when you're from Boston, when you hear the Garden, like, you don't think of Madison Square Garden. You think of TD Garden. With Madison
Exactly.
Square Garden, you have to say the whole thing or MSG. So I just thought that always made me laugh because I'm like, that's such a Bostonian right there. Like they would have never thought like, oh wait,
No.
what if they think I'm talking about New York?
It's an argument that my buddies and I from college get into because they're both New York, New Jersey people, and they're like, "Oh, you call it the Garden?" I'm like, "Yes,
yeah,
that's what you call
we
it."
didn't choose the name, like
It-
we didn't make it.
It's part of our culture.
Yeah.
I was born into this. Okay,
It's like the whale mural, or
yes,
the water tank with the rainbow. It's like that's so like that's Boston for you.
That is my home. That is
Yeah.
Those are my peeps.
Yeah.
I serve them every fucking day. All right, and that's a good way to end thoughts and feelings because we got to go for the pin. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I was gonna do fave 5. Name me just like 5 entrance themes right now that you're a fan of here. Like when you hear it, you're like, yeah, Bob. Just 5 off your head.
Okay, Triple H.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be active.
CM Punk, both. John Cena. Gunther. Because hello. And Too Cool.
Oh, good one.
Mm-hmm.
Good one.
Too Cool's good, yes.
I like that one. Turn
Yeah.
it up.
Banging it. Yeah. R.I.P. to Grandmaster.
I know. He was Grandmaster Sexy. All right, so I'm gonna go with 5 that I'm currently listening or that have been on recent searches because I listen to theme songs while I work. That's what the champion does. We got Battle Cry, Kenny Omega. That shit. Io Sky, Tokyo Shock. Shatter, Bray's theme. Head of the Table. Because yeah. And then I actually have 6. It's kind of funny, or 7 really, because I have both Brays. And then Triple H, the game. But then also Gallantry, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, see, I would pick Broken Dreams.
I would, but no, Gallantry, like you put that on. I go
in dreams. I make them come true. I make them for you. That was me singing.
That was
like
in baritone. That was really good baritone.
Yeah. Thanks.
I just like the bagpipes. I don't know what it is. I get off the bagpipes.
You like my Scottish people?
I do.
Do you wave your hands from side to side?
I do. I also say that I believe in Joe Hendry while I do
I
it.
believe in Joe Hendry.
Do you know ball? So, Sarah, say one thing right now that that would qualify you to know ball.
About wrestling?
Yeah, yes, the wrestling show, yes.
Kane and Undertaker are not real brothers.
You know ball. That is a ball fact. If anyone has one in the comments here before I get to mine and before I get to 3 count, shout them out right now and I will post them here.
Also, John Cena's name was mispronounced his entire career.
Oh, it's John Cena?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. That's really that's really how you pronounce it.
It's John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena. Also
stand and deliver.
That's my daily motto. So
Deliver.
Yeah, my God is pretty deadly.
I'm gonna go with the fact that Kurt Angle has 0 5-star matches is the #1 solidifier that Dave Meltzer has 0 credentials in my eyes.
The fact that Gunther is one of the ones who has the most 5-star matches, I'm gonna go with that's what makes Dave Meltzer have 100% credibility. I'm just joking. Gunther does, but I'm joking.
That is a good counter, though. I gotta give you credit there. I was kind of just like, damn it.
Hornswoggle is not the illegitimate son of Vince McMahon. Wow, you just taught me something.
You know ball, Mr. Anderson. You know ball.
Yeah, he does.
Nathaniel just said Edge, so
he's saying Edge's song. They were saying their fave song.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Mr. Anderson said his as well. He said CM Punk, This Fire Burns. Yes, Joe Hendry, The Shield. The Shield was good. Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, The Shield.
Burner.
I will never forget when I tweeted that on the 20th year anniversary of Raw. And Seth Rollins retweeted me. And he only had 77,000 followers at the time. So
pretty good.
If you guys want to question my fandom of Seth Rollins, then you better talk to my Twitter. So
it's pretty good. You know ball then, Sarah. I'm gonna have to say you know ball if Seth Rollins is retweeting you.
Thank you.
To wrap it up, it's the bad gal. I don't have a lot to say, and there's not really any reason to show the clips because I have a little plan for those as well. Oh, little big things coming up here on the YouTube. But no, I got to give you a recap, and I got to give the peeps a recap because they didn't tune in. And the fact they didn't tune in, you're missing out on a lot of fun shit. All right. It's a lot of fun shit. So obviously we just had that whole nonsense with Carmella trying to steal what we built from the ground up. And we took a little break this week. We did not do any major storylines. We did it, as it says here in the banner, we did some side quests. Okay. So we started off, we had to face, I forget who off the top of my head, it'll come to me, in a match where I had to hit them with 3 finishers. If it helps you, it was someone who you're definitely putting in a match to put someone else over. I just forget what wrestler it was. Someone come thinks of it. So you face them, you have to hit your finisher 3 times. And I thought of a name of your finisher. Okay. It's called the AO.
Love it.
It's pretty good. And then you do the Razor's Edge too for your signature. It's awesome. I've kind of nailed down the bad gal of you as a wrestler. We just got to get the entrance. It's a lot different than SVR 2007. Let me tell you that.
Okay.
It's a lot different in trying to create that. Like, I don't even know how to add pyro. and you need pyro. I want all the pyro for you. As your manager, I believe that you deserve all the pyro.
It's funny because if it were up to me, I would not have pyro. But
yes, this is where I come in and you're overruled. You're getting fucking pyro.
All right.
You're the bad gal. You want the noise. So you did that, but then Justine, who is apparently a legend in this, not a legend really, but she asked you to fill in at a house show, a live event, because someone couldn't make their flight. I said you would agree because that would be something you would do, step up for the team and help someone out, I assume. So you did, but you made a stipulation to it in the fact that you wanted it to be a no holds barred match because TBD. So I was like, yes, Sarah, I agree with you. Let's tell Justine. We tell her. She's like, fine, just nobody get hurt or Regal will kill me. So you face Wendy Chu.
Oh,
Sarah, I did not go easy on Wendy Chu because
fine.
I'm not the biggest. I know you're not the biggest fan of her. I'm not the biggest fan of her. So like we kind of hit her in the head with a kendo stick once or twice. We put her through a table. We hit her with a couple AOs.
Okay.
Like we did some damage, and she did to me
Intense.
too. She was feisty. I'm not gonna lie. She was hard. Justine was pissed, like really pissed, to the point that actually Wendy Chu got injured in this match because of what we did. So we could have apologized that it was an accident, all this. I went, no, fuck you. She's got to learn the ropes, got to learn to keep up, and we kind of held our ground. Justine didn't like that. Justine back to the Performance Center, and Regal even agreed too because she showed him the footage. And you had a fight in a practice match where you couldn't go off the top rope, and you love to go off the top rope. One of your moves is the coup de grace, but like you don't do the high knees, you just step on their stomach. It's really gruesome. So none of that. You won, obviously. And then you had to face Justine in a TBD match, no holds barred, essentially. That's what we're calling them now. In a match to go back to Raw. It was either 6 weeks at the Performance Center or face her in a TBD match. We chose to face her in that match, and we won. All right, we won. We finally got out of the Performance Center, and we are back on the main roster. Where if you Candice LeRae next, that's our next big one. All right,
Okay.
because that's the last one out of the bunch that we haven't done, so we got to do it. So next week we will be feuding with Candice LeRae, and I think it's going to be a shit ton of fun. What move is the AO? All right, so the AO also, it's spelled like how Sarah opens the show because Scott Hall. And the AO is a Z360 GTI. Like I think it is a legit Z360. It's you have a torture rack.
Yeah.
Flip them.
Like and then like knees them.
But it's a knee like a go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's really gruesome. It's really cool. It is not like a power bomb. So yeah, you can too. It's not a puppy, Nathaniel. You can go and watch what I just described to you. Okay, go watch that Wednesday, 6 p.m. Sometimes it's sooner if I get home earlier enough. And that's where I tweeted out. Okay, tweeted out. And I put it out on Instagram at Patty Pitts to go check that out and follow Sarah at SMarshXO on Twitter and at SMarsh_ on Instagram. So you know where to go for that. And not only that, all our shows, that's all we got for you. All right, all our shows. Go check it out. All our stuff when we're not recording in here because we do a lot and big things are coming. So jump on board now before the shit gets full. And you're already following us on the social media. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button.
We're close to 2,000 finally.
We're close to 2,000 subscribers. I might do something crazy if we do 2,000 subscribers. So let's see it happen. So go hit that subscribe button, bell notification, know every time we go live. And we'll be back on hopefully Saturday. I got some oyster event, but that will get done well before 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be all fished up, coming here to talk SmackDown. Fucking just trying to get some pyro. See, you're trying to get pyro. You want pyro. I know you want pyro. Talk SmackDown, more Bloodline, and it's going to be at MSG. So It's gonna be a great show. As I said, it's the home of WWE. So thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember, you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you on Saturday. Yeah.